my title here is Creatives Should Not Be Cynical About AI. Subtext is curiosity is more powerful than fear. So a lot of people get like their smarts and their inspiration from like Socrates or Thackeray. For me, it's more like late night talk shows, which I loved as a child because there was something about like getting to stay up and hear, Johnny Carson, I'm bold, his monologue. It like felt like, oh. So let me take you back to January 2nd, 2010. Conan O'Brien is about to take the Tonight Show stage for the very last time. I don't know if you all know the story, but this is his dream job. And he'd had it for only 7 months. Only 7 months. And he was very publicly removed, right? And forced out, right? And so the universe tuned in, like I did, because I'm like, this guy was a writer for SNL, which I loved. This guy, he was a writer for The Simpsons. He is going to dig into them, and it's going to be fantastic, right? He didn't do that. He walked out on the stage. I'd met him before, really sweet guy, but he's a giant, gangly, 6 foot, whatever. He walked out onto the stage, and he said, with tears in his eyes, emotional, fighting them back, he said, I have a message for the young people. And I was like, okay, surely there's a twist. No. He said, please do not be cynical. I hate cynicism. It's my least favorite quality, and it doesn't lead anywhere. He chose to say that in the most important moment, and the very last second on the stage he coveted his entire life. And that's what he chose to say. So what does cynicism even mean? Famous cynic H.L. Mencken defines it as, a cynic is a man who, when he smells flowers, looks around for a coffin. Pretty powerfully, you've just kind of let that waft over you, right? How is that relevant to AI? Boom. AI has become the coffin everyone's looking for. This right here is a post from an X.com user tagged with, made with AI. And it says, I just generated an image in the style of a Monet painting using AI. Please describe in as much detail as possible what makes this inferior to a real Monet painting. Internet's not shy about commenting, as we all know. One user had a 700-word dissertation on what was wrong with it, including how the brush strokes were all off and how there was no way that an AI could replicate the late-stage myopia that Monet had. Some of my favorite comments, the one we always hear, this one's cleaned up a little because my daughter's with me, but slop, doesn't look anywhere near like a real Monet, looks exactly like somebody trying to replicate the style and achieving like 20% of it. The next comment, it's all borked nonsense with no sense of space. Then an actual, more, some substance to it. It's like, look at a Monet and what does it say? Beauty, tranquility, unsullied nature. Look at the AI image. Does it say the same? There's no tranquility. The water seems like it's on fire with greenish flames. It's busy, artificial, nature in turmoil, polluted. One can get lost in the atmosphere of a Monet. On the other hand, one wants to jump in the water and get far away from the place the AI crafted. Nice try, Diddy. That's my favorite comment of the whole, like that. They did modify it for this. Nice try, AI Diddy, which I thought was pretty clever. Here's the problem. It was a real Monet. So it was an experiment, right? We could go into some other studies. You can look them up. If you take an AI creation and a human creation and don't say anything about it, it's almost 2-to-1, 3-to-1 for the AI creation, right? If you say an AI made this, those numbers reverse and sometimes get worse. Also, ironically, Monet's first name is Claude. Just throwing that out there for the universe. And so how I've thought about this is like, I'm not saying don't be critical, because I think criticism's important. Criticism creates, cynicism dismisses. Oscar Wilde, not on late night TV, he said a cynic is a man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. Super interesting quote. Ken Burns, who I love, is a documentary filmmaker. This one's powerful. This one's great. It says, I think we too often make choices based on the safety of cynicism. Right? That's not like bold, it's safe, right? And what we're led to is a life not fully lived. Cynicism is fear, and it's worse than fear. It's active disengagement. Criticism engages. Like, I'm a super nice guy, so I won't say this sucks in my criticism. I'll be like, I see a lot of opportunity for improvement here. Like this, but even if it said it sucks, that's different than disengaging. Criticism improves things. Cynicism avoids them. See a lot of creatives doing that with AI. Criticism participates. I'm going to look at this, tell you what I think about it, tell you ways to make it better. I don't know if those colors work. Cynicism withdraws. Cynicism says, slap, bye. Every creative revolution has been met with cynicism. Every one of them. And I love this. Every revolutionary technology begins as an inferior version of something that already exists. Here's some examples. The very first radio and TV. People are like, what? Why would I not just want to go watch a live performance? I'm going to watch it in this little box? Wait, I can hear people sing in Carnegie Hall. Why do I want to listen on this? I don't want to hear that. Other people saw, I can now sing for people that aren't in this room. They saw an opportunity for scale. I love this guy. I want to party with this guy. Like, that's one of the first digital cameras. Look how proud he is of his cinder block. Right? He's just like, I'm changing the world. But anybody that developed film was like, you are an idiot. Right? Like, seriously, what are you going to do? But he saw the potential for it and what happens when it becomes manipulatable in real time. Right? This is my favorite one. 1,000 songs in your pocket. I was so excited when that iPod came out. And I'd come out of the music business at the time. And my friend's like, yeah, 1,000 songs in your pocket that sound like crap. Have you actually listened to an MP3? The compression, there's no low end, there's no this, that, or the other. And in this, right, the first AI-generated portrait, right? Obviously, we're way better than now. Now, I put this in there and then looked it up and realized that this just sold at an auction for about $450,000. So it worked. So the real question is not like, can an AI paint like Monet? It's not what we're really saying. My position is, will creatives learn the tools that will shape the future? Back to late night television. This is a banger of a quote. This is Stephen Colbert, another one, didn't make it through, right? This wasn't his last show, but it's one of his most famous quotes from the show. Cynicism masquerades at wisdom, but it's the farthest thing from it. Because cynics don't learn anything, because cynicism is a self-imposed blindness, a rejection of the world, because we're afraid it will hurt us or disappoint us. Cynics always say no. But saying yes begins things. So my ask of the creatives watching at home and later and in this room is, will you say yes? A few final thoughts. AI may change how we create, may change our industries, may change our workflows. But the greatest threat to creativity is not AI. It's cynicism. Because creators never stop learning, but cynics do. And I would drop this, but I don't want to hurt it. So, thank you.